What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Down Podcast. Today's in-studio guest, this is Erik Coleman, 9-year NFL vet, TV host, football analyst for the Jets. What's going on, brother? Welcome back.
Oh, man. I'm excited to be here. You know, the first time we did this, it was via Skype, so I'm glad to be in studio with you guys.
Yeah, man.
Supposed to be our very first guest years and years ago, and then COVID happened, but now we got you back here 2-3 years later.
Yeah, we back.
We back, baby.
Well, we appreciate you making the trip over. I mean, you're somewhat local. You're local. You're right down the block, but depends on, if you're in Florida, if you're in New York, if you're in Florida, if you're in New York, depends. But we appreciate you coming out, and we're excited to, hear the things that you're doing. I'm watching you on TV all the time. I was in the golf simulator one time, and I turned my head, and there you were on the TV. I was like, oh, send a little video. Hey, Erik, what's going on?
Erik Coleman, baby.
Yeah, man. Trying to stay busy. I got 3 kids. So I got to keep hustling.
That's for sure.
Okay. Actually, I don't have kids, but I hear that. You gotta keep hustling.
I respect it. We respect it.
I respect
Not
it.
yet.
But so before we get started, we have to have our cigars. Okay,
of course.
So we got some blueprints here, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But then we also have a little welcome Christmas gift for you
For being on the pod,
podcast here. So
so we know you're a whiskey guy, so we had to, bless you with something.
Oh, thank you. Can I open it now?
Of course.
Yes, you can.
Oh, thank you.
You want to get the on-camera reaction. That's what it's all about.
Appreciate that.
we know you're a whiskey guy, so hopefully you enjoy.
I love Angels.
So it's our favorite. So
Man.
There we
we're
go.
in the
Thank
money
you
there.
so much.
You got it, bro.
I mean, listen, my
You
wife taught me my manners, my New York Italian manners, so I can't come to somebody's house.
That's it,
without
man.
bringing a gift
There
either.
we go, baby.
Bada bing, baby.
Yeah. This is my brand of
This
whiskey.
is your brand of whiskey.
Yeah,
Your
I'm a
brand.
partner in this one.
Oh.
Look at the Harlem Standard straight bourbon whiskey. Let's get a shot of that.
Nice.
Wow.
That's your brand you're a part of.
111 proof.
Congrats.
Batch
on that.
number 2.
Oh, it's a real deal.
Wow.
How long have you been a partner there?
Just about a year.
Nice.
Just about a year.
Dude, this is
Yeah,
great.
out of
Thank
Harlem.
you.
You kind of try to embrace the whole Harlem Renaissance.
Let's put that
jazz.
right. I like the box too. The bag. I'm gonna keep the bag.
Oh yeah, re-gift the bag.
I'm
Yeah,
re-gifting
come on, it's a nice
the
bag. You gotta re-gift
You
that.
gotta
It's
re-gift it.
it's a
And you know
holiday
what?
season.
And he didn't write on the tag too, so you can
Smart.
So you can re-gift it.
Smart.
Gotta recycle. Gotta be resourceful.
That's
I
it.
love
No,
it.
but I'm a big, like you said, I'm a big whiskey guy. I love cigars, so it kind of went right in line of what I do in life, how I live my life. Try to take that time out to enjoy a smoke, have a nice drink every once in a while. So,
No doubt.
why not be a part of something that just like you guys made the cigars, why not be a part of what you do?
You gotta, man. I mean, you gotta enjoy the finer things in life.
Yeah.
Life's crazy, like you said. You got 3 kids, so life gets in the way. It's nuts. So when you have a chance to just sit back, have a nice
Chill.
whiskey, a nice cigar, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Nothing like
So let's get these cut. Would you like a straight cut, a V cut? How would you?
I'll do a V cut, please.
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
V cut. I'll
You
actually.
just
I'll
got
do-
press the side. Yeah, it's a one single action.
There you go.
Brand new from the Burn Down Podcast.
Love it.
Now, did you smoke cigars when you played in the NFL?
I didn't. I didn't start smoking cigars until probably just after I got done playing. And the way I got into cigars was I had this friend down in South Florida, and we would train together. And he's like, yeah, you know who I met? He got close with Ray Lewis. He's like, Ray Lewis is a good dude. I've actually met Ray. Went and worked out with Ray Lewis. We worked out in his garage. It was a pretty cool time.
Whoa, all right.
It was intense. So it
That's
was like
the
3
old
of
school
us.
workouts, man.
Oh, it was old school, but it was old school, but it was very high class because it was.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
say,
yeah.
multi-million dollar
It was
mansion.
house. Yeah, it was like there's like a Bentley. Right, it was in his garage. There's like a Bentley parked right here. We get into his garage and he has his music pumping, and so we're sitting there. The music's going, and we're just getting warmed up. And he looked around. It was like 3 of us. He said, "You guys ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's get the workout in." And he's like, he cuts off the music. We hold hands and started to pray.
Before the
And
workout?
I said, "Oh man, he about to kill me."
Yeah.
We gotta pray?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man,
How was
a great
that work?
workout.
How'd you feel after that one?
Oh, it was. I survived the workout. He had this crazy.
You didn't
series
throw
of
up or
stuff.
nothing?
I didn't throw up, and he said I was one of the few guys that make it through on the first try.
Oh.
So I made it through, and after we were done, he was like, later on, let's go grab something to eat, have a glass of wine, and have a cigar. And I was like, a cigar? I said, you smoke cigars? He goes, yeah, like every night. He's like, it's how I calm down. I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And so we went, had a cigar. It was some trash. It was like a Cuba Cuba or something, like a flavored cigar.
Just some shit, some trash.
Yeah,
trash.
my mouth tastes like I sucked a muffler the next day. And, but it was cool. It was cool because I really enjoyed the time, the piece of it. And ever since then, I just got into smoking
So
cigars.
Ray Lewis kind of got you into cigars.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. All right.
Yeah.
If there's anyone to get you into cigars, that's a good person.
That's true. Can you raise his mic up just a little bit?
Yeah.
I want to get it more angled towards his. Oh, we got to tighten the thing there. Just so we can get a little bit better.
Should I loosen it or should I tighten it?
Yeah, I'll do this too.
Oh, thank you.
There we go. That's a little bit better. Now we got a little.
Now
But I talk low. I apologize.
No, it's not even that. It's like the microphones are so
sensitive, I guess.
Yeah, like you need to be into it.
Yeah.
Which is actually good because if there's a lot of background noise, like then it doesn't pick it up. Because if you're out here, you can't even hear it.
Oh yeah.
So you kind of have to be on the mic, which
So when
it's
you're
good for podcasting. It's not good for anything else. But
Yeah.
when you were pumping the iron with Ray Lewis, what were some of those songs that you remember playing in the garage?
Well, at first it was like some regular hip hop, but then it started to turn into some gospel music.
Oh shit!
But it was stuff that it wasn't like, churchy stuff that your grandma
Yeah.
would listen to. It was hip stuff. And then, the regular top 40 type music was playing. But I just remember just saying, don't quit.
No
I
doubt.
can't. I'm looking at Ray Lewis. He's like an icon. He's a legend. I was like, I can't be in Ray Lewis's house and quit in this workout. And it was tough. It was tough. And I still do, sometimes when I've gone a long time without working out, to get back in shape, I'll go do that workout. It was one I'll never forget.
Oh, it's got. I mean, if you hold hands and pray before the workout, like
it's going down.
Yeah,
it's
it's
funny.
going down.
It,
I stick to the straight up hip hop rap 2000s 90s. You got Waka Flocka in there, Tupac, Biggie,
dude,
a mixture. Young Jeezy.
I literally have like a 90s and early 2000s mix. That's all I really listen to. I even got my daughter listening to it because she listens to all this new stuff. I said, baby, you got to listen to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
she
gotta
created her own mixes and now she likes it. So,
it's cool because it's different. I listen to different types of music depending on what the workout is. Like if I'm lifting heavy, then I need metal or some hard rock. I'll listen to like Van Halen or just some like real heavy, some like Korn or something just that's gonna really charge you up. But then if I'm doing a boxing workout, it's gotta be like 90s hip hop or it's gotta be like some 50 Cent or some like Eminem or some
Get Rich or Die
Biggie
Trying
Tupac
never fails.
It's just gotta be because I'm boxing. It's gotta be boxing. It's like Creed soundtrack, put the like Rocky best soundtrack, but it's all different types of things. And then if you're going for a run or something, it's got to be something that's up tempo. I can't be listening to no
you
slow.
can run to the beat.
You got to run to the beat.
So, you've been on the podcast before, but I want to kind of take it back as we never met you before. Because, it's been,
been
3 years?
Yeah.
So we have a lot of new people that watch, listen. They might not know who Erik Coleman is. So what I want to ask you is, you're from Washington, right? You came born and raised in Washington. How'd you get into the NFL? Were you always trying to shoot that shot to get to the NFL? How did you know you had enough ability to get to the NFL? What was that journey like?
So, man, that's a great question. Growing up, in Washington State, I'm from Eastern Washington, Spokane to be exact.
Spokane, not Spokane, right?
Yeah, Spokane. I played all sports. I played football, basketball, baseball, and I was always busy. I was always in the community center, just staying active to stay out of trouble. My mom was like, go play some sports. Do
Best
something
way to
productive.
stay out of trouble, man.
Yeah, and as I grew up, as I went through high school, basketball was my favorite sport, and football was like one of those sports. Like when I was a freshman, I was too light to carry the ball. I was like 130 pounds. They were like, nah, you can play corner, but you're too small to really carry the football. And so I'm like, man, I need to rock. I need the ball. And I didn't really like it. I didn't like the contact of it. And I liked it, but it was my least favorite sport at the time.
All right, interesting.
And then as I grew and started getting stronger and football became kind of part of the culture at my school, it was like I started to dive in more and I started to like it more. And I got better. I made the varsity team when I was a sophomore. Didn't play much, but I was still on the team. And then, you kind of grow. And my junior year, I was rotating in with the starter and playing. And I was never, like, it was probably until my senior year that I was the best player on my team. Like, I never really grew up and it wasn't like, oh, this guy's going to the NFL.
Okay. Yeah, you had to work for it.
Yeah, I had to work for it. And I was
Had
always
to put on a couple
yeah,
LBs.
yeah, I had to put on the pounds. And I was always one of the hardest workers. So, I played basketball, did all that. And one day in homeroom, I started getting these letters. It's like University of Arizona, University of California at Berkeley, all these different schools. I would start getting letters about football. And I'm like, football? Like, they think I'm good at football? I was like, all right. So, and then, I went to a football camp at Washington State University. One of my coaches actually paid for me to go because we couldn't afford it. And he paid for me to go. I went to the camp and I was on the Renegade squad. So all these high schools were coming from around the state, from around the region.
What does that mean, Renegade Squad?
So I didn't have a team. Like, my high school team wasn't there.
Oh,
I was
okay.
there by myself.
So it was like everybody.
Yeah, so it was all the individual guys they put together on a team, and we were kicking butt. Like, we were balling. I ended up getting MVP of the camp, and it was a lot of fun. On the last play, I was diving for a touchdown. I broke my ribs, and it hurt so bad. But I remember going home like, man, I could do this. You know what I mean? And not too long later, Washington State called me. A bunch of schools were calling me, asking me. I went on official visits to some schools around the Northwest. And Washington State offered me a scholarship, and you
probably enjoyed that, like that, because you didn't. Did you want to leave the state? Like, were you okay with going away to school?
Yeah, I was fine. I was fine with it. Because I had gone through a lot. In high school, my senior year, I was living with friends because some situations at home. Like, my mom was in prison when I was a senior, and I had a tough upbringing, so I was used to being out. And I was like, I'll go anywhere. I just want the right situation. Exactly. Yeah. I just want to feel at home. And I remember going to some other schools and not really feeling right. And I went to Washington State, which happened to be like a 2-hour drive away from where I'm from. And I was like, this is it. This is like that family atmosphere.
And it's just a benefit that it's 2 hours.
Yeah, and it was like my family can come see me play, and it was really nice. And it ended up, I played early. I wanted to go to a place where I can play as a freshman. And, we ended up having a great career at Washington State. We went to 3 bowls in a row, Rose Bowl, Sun Bowl, played in the Holiday Bowl. We beat number 5 Texas.
You guys played in the Rose Bowl?
Played in the Rose Bowl.
Really?
It was sick. It was awesome, man. We
did you guys win that game or?
We lost. We lost to Oklahoma. That was like one of the first years of the BCS.
Oh, okay.
So that was the first time. It's usually Pac-12 versus Big Ten.
Yeah.
And that year it was like the Big 12 because of the rankings. We played Oklahoma. And
who were some of the big names in the NFL that you were playing in the bowl games? Anybody?
In the bowl games, so.
Because what year was this? This was...
So I played from 2000 to 2003 in college.
Okay.
So like my senior year, we played against Texas. They had Cedric Benson, the running back, Roy Williams, the running back.
Yeah, okay.
Who else? They had Scheffler. It was Bo Scaife. He played for the Titans. Who else? They had a bunch of just big name guys, and they thought they were going to roll us. And we beat the brakes off them. It was awesome. It was a great way to end the college career. But
that's such a good feeling, right? When you know the team that comes in, and you're the underdog, and they're on this high horse. Like, man, we're gonna wipe the floor. They're thinking about the next game.
Yeah.
And you come in and you stomp them.
Oh, we beat them up.
Not just beat them, but stomp them.
We did.
It's
what was the score?
They're just shell shocked.
I don't remember the score, but it was
a lot to a little.
The score wasn't. The score did not indicate the ass kicking that we put on.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah. Because they knew it. Like, it was, and that was my best game in college. It was cool. It was my last game. I had like a block punt, a sack, forced a fumble.
Wow.
It was all over the place. It was just balling out. I swear I got drafted from that game.
Just balling out.
Yeah. It was cool. But before we went to that game, I had got a letter, and it was invite me to the NFL Combine, which is the top 300 players in the country. And I was like, damn, I'm one of the top 300 players. Because I never really saw myself as that.
Sure.
And then
you liked basketball. This whole time you're like, this is my second sport. I don't even want to play this sport.
Yeah, but
he also comes off as a very humbled guy, so he doesn't come off as that braggadocious,
Yeah, and then also
no, that was the other team.
That was Texas.
No, but even just to rewind back, a couple of my friends, my sophomore year, Lamont Thompson, he got drafted in the second round, and Lamont was like, he's still the Pac-12 all-time leader in interceptions. He was a great player. But he was drafted, and I was like, man, he's good, but he's not that much better than me where I could do this. Next year, my buddy Marcus Trufant, pick number 11. And I'm like, True is way better than me, but I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm
like,
around
he's 11,
that.
so
I can do this.
I'm in here.
Yeah. So I started having aspirations. I started working out much more, stop partying less. started training more and dedicating my life really to football. And when I got drafted, man, it was one of the best feelings in the world.
JETS, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Bleed green over here. Still.
Jets, baby.
With the
Unfortunate season for the Jets, but
it's usually the unfortunate.
we call it a building season, okay? Call it a building
man.
season.
We've been building for a long time.
Yeah, I know. 1969 was the last time you guys, but it's but aside from Jets, Falcons, Lions, okay? So you kind of have 3 teams you could root for here, The Lions are doing pretty well this year, aren't they?
Lions are balling out. Dan
like-
Campbell has done a great job changing the culture.
Yeah.
What's their record now? They're like
I think they're 10-4.
10-4.
Yeah.
So they're in the playoffs.
Jared Goff, baby, kicking ass.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
I kind of felt like they sent him away to kind of like get like into the wasteland over there, and I'm like,
I
Jared Goff is
They used to
good.
tell me that's
I
where
bet his
career
over
goes.
touchdowns every game.
They told me when I was going there, they said that's where careers go to die.
No, that's
Go
Cleveland.
to Detroit.
Yeah. Cleveland.
But mine died there though.
Oh,
But yeah, now it's a destination. They changed the culture over there, and they got some winners. So
Yeah,
I'm happy
they're
to see
balling
that.
out. They're balling out, man.
Yeah.
I was excited for, I have certain excitement extent for being a Jets fan. I've been a Jets fan. My family's Giants fans, but all my friends were Jet fans, and I wanted to be with my friends. So I was like, I'm going to be a Jet fan. So then things progressed. But every year, just like I'm not a Mets fan, I'm a Yankees fan, but a lot of my friends are Mets and Jets, and they always say the same thing. Oh, it's going to be a great season. We're going to do this. And I'm like, let's just wait till things happen.
They
'cause you
they
never
got
know.
so unlucky though.
And
They
it was
just
so,
got 3 snaps, man. Like
Hate to say it,
Man,
but it's
that
very
hurt.
it's very Jet-like, and it hurt so
That
much.
hurts, man.
I
That
couldn't
hurts.
actually believe it. I was actually
And they're
like,
a good team.
this
They
is-
got players. They got players. Like
Ton of
if you
talent.
look on paper, I'm like, they got players. It's a good team. Just unfortunate situation.
Yeah, it shows you how important that one key piece is. That quarterback.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's why they make the big bucks, because they stir the drink. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
I mean, it's defense and quarterback, but at the end of the day, it's not about, if you go 0-0, you don't win the game.
Right.
You got to put points on the board.
Right.
All right? It's like defense is important, but you got to put points on the board, and that's where the quarterback comes in, right?
So
Eric, man, it's getting cold in there. You open that window?
yeah, I'm gonna close it right now.
I was gonna say, man, I don't know. I mean,
I was waiting for someone.
I mean, you got the heater right there. I'm the furthest from the heater. Okay.
I just want to make sure it didn't get
All right.
smoky in here.
Nah, it'll be all right. We got the thing. We got the makeshift air purifier over there. man.
Exhaust fan.
It would fan out the window.
So if I remember correctly, you played in 115 games, and I did the math, and it was about 81% of that was starts, and a lot of them was with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite season with the Jets, and favorite game or favorite moment as a Jet?
Man, my favorite season by far was my rookie year.
Because you guys went like 10-5 or something.
Yeah,
like that,
we were
right?
good, man. It was
Herm Edwards, baby.
Yeah,
The
Herm Edwards. I was drafted, in the 5th round. I came into camp, excited, just excited for an opportunity. And on the second day of camp, John McGraw, who was the starting safety, he had a calf strain.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, oh, McGraw went down.
Here's the Brady moment, right?
I'm like third string though. I'm a rookie. I'm third string. And during practice, my coach is like, Coleman, get in there. And I was looking around like, oh,
Me?
Okay.
Where's my helmet?
So I run in. Yeah, so I run into practice, and then it was crazy. We break the huddle. I'll never forget this. We break the huddle, and we're playing against the first team. And so the huddle breaks. Boom. Wayne Corbett over here. Anthony Becht over here. Curtis Martin over here. Santana Moss. They broke the huddle. Chad Pennington run it. They go, they shift. They shift. And I was just sitting there. I'm the quarterback. I got to make the adjustments. When they change, I got to tell the defense what we're doing. And so it was so fast. And I was like, holy shit. Like, what do I do? And my coach stopped the practice, and he's like, 2-6. I don't care what you say. You got to say something. You could be loud and wrong, but you just got to say something. Like, we got to figure it out.
Better than silent and right.
Yeah. And so I, after that, I was like, okay, I got to get my stuff together. And now I just started talking. I started talking, and I'm yelling at guys who are 10-year veterans, getting them lined up, telling them they're wrong. And it was a really cool experience because that team had all those great players. A lot of Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Kevin Mawai, Curtis Martin. You talk about the greats and Wayne Corbett. John Abraham was on that team. After every practice, usually after like a Thursday practice, they would all, like a lot of the guys would be like, hey, Rook, come. They would grab me. We would go to Houston's over at Roosevelt Field. They had a Houston's restaurant. And we would sit there at the bar and it would be like Sean Ellis, like all these legends, right?
Yeah.
And then me, we were sitting around the bar, we would have a couple of drinks and we would have dinner and they would just be talking, telling stories about their experiences in the NFL, you know, what happened with this girl, what happened with this financial. So I'm learning, I'm just soaking up all this knowledge from these guys. And it was like the best experience. After that, we would go out, hang out, party or something. But just the camaraderie on that team, it was like, I don't care if you're a rookie or a 10-year vet, you're a part of this team. Yep. And it was like it was a true family. And, you know, we had a lot of success playing. You know, we went to the playoffs, we won the wild card game against the Chargers. Then we lost in Pittsburgh in overtime. But that was the best experience I had. That was like one of my best memories playing football. And just to kind of cap off my favorite time of that year.
Yeah.
It had to be like, I've told this story before, but week one was sick. We were playing at MetLife, played against the Cincinnati Bengals. And it was Carson Palmer at quarterback, TJ Hushmanzada, Chad Johnson, Peter Warwick, who was a guy who I grew up watching at Florida State. And I remember just being out in the field and they did the national anthem and the Jets flew over the stadium. And I remember like crying. And like, listen, since I had my kids, I became emotional, but I wasn't that emotional dude. Yeah. But during the anthem, I was just sitting there thinking about where I'd come from in life and where I was. And I'm like looking around and I couldn't stop crying. It was just like the tears came down.
It's a flood of emotions. It's a flood of emotions, man.
It was amazing. And then, you know, the game starts.
Did like your whole like past of your life like flash back?
It flashed right. It was like as the anthem was going, I'm thinking about these trials and tribulations. Yeah. You know, me working out I used to live across the street from a middle school. I'll go to the middle school and just run around the field and just visualize me playing in the game and me doing push-ups, all the extra work, running stadium stairs, like doing all that stuff. It was like a movie. You know how like the Rocky, Rocky like go back to, it was like a montage going through my head and then it just started to flood.
Wow.
And then I got myself calmed down. We, you know, started playing the game and I'm out there covering guys. And I'm like, man, this guy's quick, but he's not that much quicker than me.
Yeah,
I'm okay. I'm all right out here.
I got him.
I can handle myself. And, you know, we get through the game and I think we're up by 2 scores. 4 minutes left in the game. We're on a defense at about the 50-yard line. I'm covering Chad Johnson in the slot. Me and him man to man. And I'm like, all right, cool. They snap the ball. I backpedal. He starts running. I turn and run. I look back. The quarterback's cocking back. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. You know what I mean? The ball's in the air. I'm running the balls in the air. I'm tracking it. I'm like, I got this. And all of a sudden, there's this flash comes right in front of me. Touchdown. Chad Johnson catches the touchdown on me. And I was like, oh man. Like my heart was just like.
Because you thought, you're like, I played this right.
Yeah,
I got him.
I got him. I'm like, yeah, he gets paid too.
Did it go right over you or
it was like he cut in front of me. He cut right behind me. And so my head was down. They did the extra point. I'm like jogging back to the sideline and I'm looking at 75,000 people. I'm like, man,
and they were playing it on the Jumbotron over and over and over again. You're like,
yeah. And I'm like, man, everybody here hates me. Like, damn. And my teammates are probably disappointed in me and I'm running to the sideline and I remember Sean Ellis. He grabbed me and he's like, hey, Rook. He said, this isn't going to be the last time you get beat for a touchdown. This is the NFL. Like, pick your head up. You got a lot more to go.
That's good advice though.
Yeah. Pick your head up. Let's go. And, you know, a couple of my teammates grabbed me and, you know, offense went, we came back on the field. Now we're up by 1 touchdown and there's 2 minutes left. So now we're out there, we're battling. It's third and 5 or 6. And we call this coverage and I'm man to man with Chad Johnson in the slot again. And I remember looking around the field.
Was he yapping? Was that
no, the appointment? He didn't really talk.
He didn't say much?
He talks a lot like, you know, you think so, but he doesn't say nothing.
Nah.
He talks more when he scores the end zone.
Yeah, he celebrates and does all that stuff. And, but I'm looking around the field and I see like Donnie Abraham, Ray Mickens. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the guys around me. I'm like, they're definitely coming to me. They're like, who are they going to go to? Him, or the rookie who just got beat for a touchdown?
Go right back.
Yeah, they're coming right back to me. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And so I get down in my stance, I backpedal. He breaks on like a corner route. I break with him. I look back. Yep, the ball's in the air. I jumped in front of that thing. You got an interception.
Down with it, baby.
Oh, man.
You're like, yeah.
It was
you got me once. You ain't getting me twice.
I had the weakest run back ever, but I got tackled. And then,
sealed the game, basically.
Yeah, I sealed the game with that one. And I used to do these dances. I was like the happiest dude at practice. Like I was just so happy to be in the NFL. Yeah. And I remember some of the veterans were like, do your dance. Like, this is the time to do it. Like, celebrate. You worked hard for this. And so I did my little dance and it ran off the field and we won the game. It was cool.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
See, it's you're almost glad that they went back to you, right? Because it's like, I got to redeem myself.
I got the redemption.
Come on back. Try me again, right? Try me again. I ain't getting beat twice.
Fool me once.
Right. But that's good that he said that. Like, listen, you made a good play. He made a better play.
Right.
It ain't going to be the first time. And it's not going to be the last time. People, you're going to get beat.
They get paid just like we
listen,
do.
No doubt.
They're going to hit you with a good move, or like you think you got him and he might step in front, but there's going to be other times when he thinks he's got you and you jump in front of him. So
and it kind of like, that one's like a microcosm of life. Like there's like a lot of ebbs and flows and, your coaches always tell you don't get too high and don't get too low. Just try to stay at that even keel. Don't get too high. Don't celebrate too much. Don't beat yourself up.
Sure.
Because it's going to come back around. So that would kind of set the tone for me. There's no losses. There's just lessons. You know what I mean? You got to just learn from it and keep going.
100%. I mean, like you said, you're sitting out on the sideline waiting for the game to start and your whole life is flashing by you up to this moment. You're like,
yep.
Yeah, damn.
So that was your favorite play, favorite moment?
Yeah, that was really cool. That was just a really good time. The next week, so like that was week 1, I got a pick. Week 2, we played Drew Brees with the San Diego Chargers. I intercepted him down there.
Wow.
That was cool. So back to
now you say I intercepted the Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so
sure.
And I got him with the Chargers and with the Saints. So that was cool.
Damn.
It didn't matter what team you're on, man. I got you both times.
Yeah, and that was cool. I got Player of the Month. that month. It was a great start to my career.
Do you have all of these memories up in your house, like pictures of them?
I used to be really bad. Like my wife got mad at me. She's like, "Where's all your stuff?" I'm like, "I don't care. Like I didn't really care about it."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What about your kids?" And so then I started collecting my stuff. But actually, that Rookie of the Month certificate. One of my former coaches reached out to me randomly on Facebook. I hadn't heard from him in years. He was like, "E. Cole, what's your address? I got something for you." And so I sent him my address and he sent me, it was framed, my Rookie of the Month. And I was like, "Man, you had this the whole time. You didn't even give it to me." But he was my coach, so he felt like he earned it. So it was cool. But it was really nice of him to send that to me.
Yeah,
so tell us about the last game that you played. Do you remember the very last time that you walked off the field?
Yeah.
Were you as emotional the last time you walked off the field?
I didn't know it was my last time. That's what's so tough about playing in the NFL is very seldom do guys get to leave on their own terms. So like there's only a couple guys that get to just retire. Like, you know what? I'm done. Yeah. I've had enough. I'm at a new stage in my life. I was playing in Detroit and I remember we weren't making the playoffs that year. And I'm a 9-year veteran. I'm making a lot of money and thinking like, man, this is probably wrapping up because the coaches started being harder on me. They started like critiquing me a lot more.
And it's coming up on the average NFL player is somewhere like between 5 and 10 years.
3.
Right? 3 years.
3 years.
3 years. Okay. So you're like, I've already milked it.
Yeah. And so like, we played a game against Minnesota and I made a mistake or whatever, but no big deal. And I remember I was like sitting at home. I was in Detroit and I was sitting in my apartment and it was a day off and my coach called me and they were like, "Can you come to the facility and bring your playbook?" And I was like, "Am I getting cut? Like I never got cut before. Like this is crazy." Wow. And I went to the facility and I had my own parking spot because I was like one of the leaders on the team. I had my own parking spot. I get to my parking spot and 2 security guards meet me at my car. And I'm like, "I need security?" And so they met me at my car, walked me into the facility. It took me up to the head coach's office. Or to the general manager, and he's like, "Yeah, we're going to release you. We're not going to the playoffs." They're like, "We brought you here for your playoff experience, your experience, but we're not going to the playoffs. Now it's time for us to give some of the younger guys an opportunity. Some of the practice squad guys. We got like 3 games left in the season. We're going to let you go." And so that it hurt. It hurt bad.
I can only imagine.
And then I went to the head coach's office. He was like, "I'm sure another team will pick you up." Then you go to the defensive coordinator. They like walk you around the facility, like interviewing everybody as you're leaving.
Like an exit interview?
And then like the last stop, they stop you by your locker and they're like, "Grab whatever you can out of your locker. The rest we'll send to you." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll grab like some lotion." Like, I don't even know what to grab. Like, I'm about to cry. I'm trying to like keep from crying right
like
now.
A big life
you told me to grab some stuff. And so, I grabbed whatever I grabbed and then I left and I packed my stuff up in Michigan. I drove back to Long Island because we had just built a house here. And I had a baby, I just had a baby, and I was matter of fact, we were building a house. So I was at my in-laws' house, and I remember being at my in-laws' house, sitting on the couch, like depressed, the next week, and there's a knock on the door, and it was UPS. And it was this big ass box. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I opened the box.
It's all your stuff.
All my stuff from my locker. It was like shower sandals, cleats, my pads, shampoo. Like, this box, they put everything in a box, send it to you, and that's how you end your career.
That's it.
Like, that's it. Thanks for everything. Thanks for sacrificing everything. You're done.
Wow. And I remember, I remember you saying when we first spoke years ago, NFL means not for long. And that always resonated with me because it's so true.
Well, I mean, 9 years versus the 3-year average.
Yeah, well, it's 3 times
better.
Yeah,
it was a blessing, man. I got to play a long time, and I played for some great organizations, and I played some good football. And I was very fortunate to stay healthy. My mind was always my biggest asset. Every year I played, they drafted a player to replace me, and what kept me on the field was maybe you're faster than me, but I study. I'm going to process this information faster than you. So I'm going to get there before you do. Mm-hmm. And that's what kept me thriving throughout my career. I was always in the right place. I hustled. I didn't give up a lot of big plays. I made the tackle when I was supposed to, and I just did my job. But it was mentally I was there. A lot of these young cats, they get away with their athleticism being just better than everybody. Yeah. And once you get to the NFL, that stuff changes. Everybody's good. You got to have something else.
Did you see did you notice a significant increase in like the skill level? Like so you're in college and you're defending some of these college guys, and it could be the best guy on the other team, but then you get to the NFL and you're guarding just like one of the average guys. Do you?
Oh man,
you see
it was
like
it was such a big difference because in college it was crazy because there would be like probably legitimately on any good college team there are probably 4 or 5 guys who are like, okay, this dude he's like that deal. You got to watch out for him. But when you get to training camp, when you get to the NFL, you may not even know who this person is, but he is the truth where he came from. He was the best in his conference. He wasn't just the best on his team. He was like all conference, probably all American.
He was a somebody.
Just because he went to Southern, Methodist University doesn't mean that he can't play ball. So you line up against somebody, it's automatic respect. You know what I mean? So there's a big difference in that. And then the other difference was the playbook size and the amount of knowledge that you had to have of the game. You get to the NFL, and back then we had, when I first got in, we had these binders, and it was a binder about this thick, and it was all the plays, all the adjustments, all the checks and everything. I had to know that.
How do you study for that? Because I've always wanted, and especially quarterbacks. I mean, they playbook's probably twice the size, but how do you prepare? How do you study to remember all that?
Well, on initial install, on the initial install, they give you like, let's say the first defense we put in was like under 63 sky. And that's like, under is the front. That's where the D linemen, that's how the D linemen line up. That's where the linebackers line up. 63 is the coverage. So if it's a balanced formation, then we're playing cover 6. That means it's cover 4 on one side and cover 2 on the back side. And so now you look at that, you look at that based on a normal I formation. Now let's move the receiver over here to make a slot. How can that change? So the second number in that 6 kicks in when it's a slot. So now you're playing 3. In the 63 sky, the corners come over so it looks like man, but you're playing 3.
Wow.
And then like you look at what are the other adjustments? How can this change? And so now the other way that this can change is if they come out in 2 tight end situation, it's called 12 personnel, and they come out in a base like H formation where there's a tight end on each side, a receiver on each side. If they come in that, we got to check to cover 4. We got to get out of the cover 6 because it's balanced. Then if they do a bunch, so you look at everything, you look at each coverage, and you look at how is this going to change. And so that's what I'm doing when I break the huddle. Wow. So like the guy gets tackled, right? Now the first thing I do is I'm looking at who's coming in and who's coming out. So if the fullback runs off the field and the receiver comes in, we got to change the personnel. So I'm like 11 personnel. So we got to get nickel in. We got to take out a linebacker, bring in a corner. And so I got to yell nickel. I got to yell the down and distance. Now the linebacker, he yells the coverage. He tells everybody what coverage we're playing. And so the first thing that happens when we break that huddle, I never take my eyes off the huddle. I'm looking at the formation because I have to be the mouthpiece now. Right. So I'm the deepest guy. So now they come out in this formation. I'm like, watch this, alert that, check this. And I have to, and when you're playing at MetLife Stadium and when you're good and when you're rocking, oh, you can't, we could be this close and you can't hear anybody.
Screaming.
So we got to come up with hand signals. I'm jumping around. I'm slapping guys. I'm like running around the field, literally slapping guys, trying to get their attention because you get locked in. And I have to tell them we have to check this formation because if one guy's playing cover 2 and the rest of us are playing cover 4, it's a damn touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I get back to my coach saying, if we're all right, he said we could be all wrong, but we'll be all right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
We all had to be on the same page. So it's a constant thinking man's game. How is this going to change?
Wow.
What can they do to change this? So I can't be the guy who's like, I can't be like all pumped up because I got to be cerebral. And then after all that, I got to come downhill and blow somebody up. So it's,
and to put this in perspective, this is all going on in a matter of like 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they imagine a huddle, right? They break out. You're like, all right, well, if I can see, if I see 2 guys going this way, 2 guys going that way, all right, there's going to be balance. But if I see 3 on one side, they're oval. And it's all happening in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And you gotta recognize it and scream out.
Yeah. And then
you got somebody in motion and now it's like.
Yeah. And the thing that you have to add in is what did I watch on film? What are their tendencies? So what do they like to do? It's 3rd down and 6. What do they like to do? They're in a balanced formation. They motion over. Okay, number 2 and number 3 are close. It's 3rd and 5. Oh, they like running this. They like running the ram route. So, and I'm yelling out, ram, ram, ram. And so maybe that gives me a little inkling so I can go jump that route, go make a play, go knock it down, go make the tackle, make an interception. You know what I mean? So you have to constantly have an understanding of how do they attack you. So that's why we do all the scouting reports of their last 4 games. You self-scout. You try to find tendencies. You're always looking for a different edge to beat your opponent, to find out how to get there before they do.
So what was the I guess it's like a two-parter, but what was the hardest offense that you played against? The hardest offense to really get a handle on? And then the second part would be, who's the hardest player to guard?
That's a great question.
I was going to say, who was the most annoying quarterback to play against?
Yeah, so, okay, so.
I can answer. Who was the guy that, like, obviously you can say, okay, there's, Chad Ochocinco or
Peyton
like Megatron, like, all these guys are, they're Hall of Fame receivers and obviously be difficult. But who was the guy that, like, you give him respect, but you kind of didn't. You're like, man, this guy's fucking tough, man. I can't figure this guy out.
Yes, okay, so the toughest team to prepare for, and I hate to say it, was New England.
Yeah, I can.
And the reason why New England was tough was because, like, okay, so when you play Buffalo, you know what kind of offense Buffalo has. They're going to run a single back. They run their offense.
Yeah.
But when you play New England,
true that they've been doing for years.
Yeah. So like New England, they're so well versed that their offense varies every week. Like you play tight end, you play running back. All right, this week you're running all his routes. So you don't only just know what you have to do, you have to know what everyone has to do. And so they can change things around and it makes it crazy. And another thing they do is they look at your last 4 games. They look at what beat you and they install what another team did to beat you to make sure that you got it fixed. So they make sure you check your oil. So not only do you have to look at the Patriots and see what do the Patriots do that's successful, you have to look at yourself and say, what did we do to get beat? And because we're going to see it again. We're going to see it in that first 15 plays. They're going to run it. And if we didn't get it fixed, it's going to be a touchdown. And so that made it really tough to prepare for the Patriots because every week it was something different. So I'll give you another example. We were playing them on a Monday night. They played the Minnesota Vikings before us. And this is back in the day. This is like 2006 where you run the football. They threw the ball 52 times. They were in spread formation. They threw the ball 52 times. And that was unheard of for the Patriots. Wow. So the whole week, we're deactivating defensive linemen. We're activating defensive backs because it's about to be a track meet. We're running all over the field. Yeah. So there's linebackers that aren't active because you have to adjust to the personnel. And so we're preparing all week for this passing game. Dude, they came out the first 2 series. They came out in 13 personnel. 13 personnel is 1 running back, 3 tight ends. And they ran the ball down our throats the first 2 drives.
Just like Corey Dillon back then? Was that Corey Dillon?
Corey Dillon, Kevin Falk.
Yeah.
Falk. Oh, man.
So here you are thinking they're going to run the ball. They're going to throw the ball left and right. And now they said, no.
Corey Dillon was a monster.
They didn't throw the ball until the second quarter. It was just, and we were looking around like, yo, what are we doing? And we were trying to make adjustments, but some of our D tackles, some of the fat guys, they're in sweats. Because you can only activate 43 guys. And so you have to adjust. And so now he's not even playing.
I never thought of it like
and you
that.
Need him out there. So it was just it was crazy.
Now, did you ever go against Peyton Manning? I know the Jets don't play him that often, but the Colts.
Yeah, I played against Peyton Manning twice. And
because I heard he was like, besides Tom Brady, obviously, but it's Tom Brady's. I mean, Peyton Manning's like calling everything at the line. Mm-hmm. Like he's like a.
It was fun playing against the Colts because you knew where they were going to be. Like Reggie, Rodney Harrison, not Rodney.
Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison was going to be on the left. Reggie Wayne on the right. They didn't motion. They didn't do a lot of stuff. But Peyton Manning was always going to look for a snitch in the defense. And what that means is, as a defense, there's always a route. There's a route to beat every coverage. And there's a way to beat every coverage if you know what coverage it is. And
is there like a converse to that where it's like, all right, there's a coverage to beat every route?
Yes, 100%.
And it's just a matter of which one is set up at the time.
Exactly. And that's where the chess game comes in. And so before the snap, you're constantly disguising. I'm showing cover 3 and I'm rolling back and it's cover 4. Or, you're trying to make things look the same, but you mix up the coverage. And what you want is, you don't want the quarterback to figure out what defense you're in while he's calling the plays, while he's going blue 42. Because if he sees it, he's going to go check, and he's going to get them into that route or that run that's going to beat what you have out there. And so with Peyton Manning, he was a master of it. So he would give the fake hot because he's looking for one guy
just to
like stumble forward and like, oh, he's coming down. They're playing cover 1. Let's check this. I'm going deep. You know what I mean? That's what you do. So
then he starts yelling, Omar.
Yep.
You're like, that's it. It's over. Touchdown.
So we picked up on film, like, once you get to like 8 seconds, he can't change the play. There's not enough time. And so all week we practiced. We're going to hold this shell, stay right here until you see 8 seconds on that shot clock. Then you move.
Wow.
Once 8 seconds goes, we can get into a blitz. We can get into whatever we're doing, but wait until there's 8 seconds because he can't change it. And so we had blitzes pulled up. We had different coverages, and we were very successful against them. Now, they were good though. They were good.
I mean, I loved watching Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. Like they were the best. They were
Dallas Clark going up the middle,
crazy,
running seam routes. Edgerrin James running the ball. Yeah. Man, they were a good team. Dwight Freeney on the other side. And that was the thing about their team too. They always played with the lead because Peyton was always putting up points. So now Dwight Freeney's not a big dude, but he can just pin his ears back and get after that tackle and go get his sacks. Bob Sanders can go back there and just pick off players. He can just wait to just lay that hammer on people. And it was fun to watch them play. I would, like, when I was resting on defense, I would go watch Bob Sanders. You know what I mean? I would go watch them. They were a fun team.
What was so it's amazing because it's like you don't realize how much of a chess match it really is. Like obviously, it's athletes and it's athleticism and it's if you're running post routes or you're running just go routes, it's like go route is faster guy wins basically, right? Mm-hmm. It's athleticism, right? And then there's strength at the line and stuff, but that's all the physical aspect. You don't realize how much of a chess match it is between the quarterback and the linebackers and the corners and the guys, and it's like disguising coverages, and you're just and it's all going on in 10 seconds.
Yeah, and you have to constantly evaluate yourself throughout the game. So, they may do a run play or something, right? And I'm flying up and I'm making the tackle, and it's like, oh, Eric comes and makes it for a 2-yard gain. I'm not supposed to be making that tackle for a 2-yard gain. And there's a reason why I'm not supposed to be making that tackle for a 2-yard gain. And if you play a good team, they're gonna let you get that let you get that 2-yard tackle and celebrate. And I'm gonna save that one for the fourth quarter. When we need a touchdown, I'm gonna make it look exactly the same. I'm gonna tuck it, and we're gonna run a post route right behind you, right behind where you're supposed to be.
And he's gonna be 20 yards ahead.
And it's a touchdown. It's a great job on that play. But so you have to constantly check yourself. On the sideline, you come back. And back then, they have the tablets now, but we'd have pictures. One pre-snap and one like a couple seconds into the play, and your coach would be like,
"Totally forgot about it." So it's like now you're not doing it on tablets where you can just have instant replay.
Yeah, now you have the tablets.
You're doing it on pictures. Now they have literally
pictures. There's like a guy in the back behind the bench giving you pictures, and the coach is like, "You're too close. You need to back up." You know what I mean? That's not your play to make. It was a great play, but that's not your play. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so
that makes it totally
that's why
different.
It's mind-boggling to me that Johnny Football never watched film and didn't read the playbook or nothing.
Dude, I don't know.
Well, that's why he wasn't successful.
You gotta watch film, dude. You gotta. I watched film at a D3 college basketball. We would watch film.
Football.
How are you not watching
in high school? I watched football in high school.
I'll watch film, and I don't even play professionally. I'm just watching film just to watch film, right? Like, you'll be watching, I was a basketball player, so I'll be watching basketball, I'll be like, man, Like, I wonder how is he so open in the corner? Like, every time you watch him, like, man, they're doing this. They're setting a double screen. He's coming through the baseline. He's coming up, and then they're setting a third screen, and then there's a fourth screen. It's like, by the time he gets to the ball, nobody has any clue. And I'm watching this. I'm like, why am I watching this? Oh, well, it's
I gotta know why.
Yeah, I want to know why.
Exactly.
I was like, I want to know how is he, like, why is he open every time? You can't figure this out?
I was a junior in high school playing football, and we were watching film, and this is one of the most hilarious. At the time, it wasn't hilarious, but looking back and talking about it. But one of the seniors was a linebacker, and he got beat on a play. So we're watching this play, and no one really realizing it. It's just a running back going past the linebacker, and the linebacker if linebacker's running past the linebacker's stopping and turning back. When you watch it really fast, you don't really see it. But then our coach replayed it, and we're like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm not going to call him out, but his name was actually Erik. He's like, Erik, what are you doing here? And he does it in slow motion. He drops his mouthpiece. Mid-play, he stops chasing the running back and to pick up his mouthpiece. And he was getting ripped on. Oh, my God. He's like, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Picking up your motherfucking mouthpiece. And the fuck. He's like, I was like, thank God that's not me.
Yep.
I played strong safety. So.
Hey, but you learned from that.
Oh, fuck
you learn from his mistake.
Or even when no one wore cup. No, for some reason, kids weren't wear cups in football. One kid popped a nut.
Oh.
You can hear on the sideline, half the team, bro, went back in and grabbed the cup.
Oh man.
I don't know.
We never wore cups though.
It's crazy.
Dude, half the guys didn't wear anything under their pants. They'd just be butt naked, just put on their pants.
Dude, crazy.
I debated whether or not wearing a cup playing basketball because some kid had similar. He was coming off of he got kneed. He was coming around a pick and got kneed right in the junk and I had to go to the hospital.
Bro, popped a nut.
Had to get surgery on it. I'm sitting there. So I actually wore the pads on my like you had hip pads.
Yeah.
It was the pad pants or whatever. I had them on the quads. You have them on your tailbone for when you take a charge. Man, that helped.
Like a girdle.
That helped, man. Yeah. Right on the tailbone. When you took it, I'd be taking charges left and right. I'm like, you got to take charge, right? That was like one thing that doesn't show up in the stat book, but coaches love it. When you sacrifice the body.
Yeah.
Or if you die for a loose ball.
Yeah. But there'd be so many times where you see like a perfect example of when you were saying you weren't supposed to get that 2-yard game, right? And you kind of, I have something in here?
You got a little tobacco in the tooth. I couldn't stop looking at it.
We get it?
Nice. Gotta go like this. Just give it a little wipe ski.
The bottom.
There you go.
I got it.
I couldn't stop. I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at the piece.
Good thing this is an audio show, right?
Yeah. For the most part.
No, but like you're not supposed to get the two, and then people celebrate those little things, like, oh yeah, and then next thing you know, later on, bang, right? Yep. So it's like you have these guys that'll get like a little fast break bucket or something, and they're celebrating, yeah, I got the steal, whatever. Next thing you know, their man is shooting 3. And I'm like, yeah, so you got the steal, great, you're celebrating the dunk that you just had. But your man back there is wide open for a 3. Yeah. So actually, we just lost a point. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, great. You got the steal. Get your ass back on fucking defense. Like, you read the play, okay, or it was a loose tipped ball and it came right into your hands and bang, you got an easy layup. Great. That's not going to happen all the time. Get your ass back on fucking defense. Okay? Stop looking at the camera doing some sign that you just got to dunk on TV. Get your ass fucking back.
That just happened with the Knicks like last year or something. I don't know if it was Julius Randle or somebody, but he was just like, they got offense. They're on offense. Defense got the rebound. Now the other team's on offense, and Julius Randle, or one of the other Knicks, was just walking the whole court, and everyone was freaking out. I don't know if it was Julius Randle or not, but everyone was up in arms.
It's a shame because
how do you not think about your team? Like you're just like, fuck it. Yep. I'm doing my own thing.
It happens a lot in the NBA. Honestly, the defense. I mean, look at the scores now. Go back into like the 80s and the 90s and the Jordan era. The scores were like 89 to 85, right? If you scored 100, it was unheard of.
What's the biggest difference you've seen between NFL you played and then today? Obviously, there's a lot more. I call it everyone's a little more soft now.
Yeah, there's the physicality.
There's the tuck rule.
Well, I mean, okay, so I'll give this example. When I was coming up, it was all about big safeties. So like, I remember Roy Williams from Oklahoma.
Oh yeah,
he was like 6'2", probably 230. Sean Taylor, who's a guy who I got drafted with, rest in peace, 6'3", probably 230. Beast. And when he was playing, he was probably about 240.
You got drafted with Sean Taylor?
Same year, Sean Taylor, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Roethlisberger, Bob Sanders. Like, I had a good draft. We had a really good class.
6'3", that's a big-ass safety.
Big. He was, I remember at the combine, we were in a group, and I was like, who is this? And why is he in the group with the safeties?
Yo,
So
could you imagine?
we
Could you
interviewed Ed Reed.
imagine getting having just an open field tackle getting laid out
That's what
by
we
a
said.
free safety? Like you're looking over the shoulder like this, and here comes a safety, and just 6'3", 240.
Part of the
just
reason why I play
flattens
defense.
you.
Part of the reason why I play defense. I need to be I need to be a hammer, not the nail.
Yeah, because when we were talking to Ed Reed, we asked him about Sean Taylor. And I was like, "What was your first impression of Sean Taylor?" He's like, "God damn, who are your parents?" And I was like,
Right.
I was like, why? Because he's like, he was the same size as Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson was 6'3", 230, 240, and he was like,
Crazy athlete.
damn.
Do you ever play like that where you absolutely just rocked somebody, and you're like, "Yo, I hope he gets up."
Yeah, I did. I've done
And
that.
you like for a moment, you're kind of like, "Yeah, I felt good," but you're like, "Wait, please get
That's
up.
messed up.
Please get up."
You know what?
messed
I
up.
actually got one of. I've knocked out 2 of my friends.
No.
And I felt terrible about it. So I played with Santana Moss my rookie year, and then he got traded to at the time the Redskins.
Yeah.
And when I got to Atlanta, he was still there, and I was playing the middle of the field, and they must have ran like a seam route, and I leaned to the right a little bit, and I saw the quarterback come back, and he throws it to Santana in the slot, and I was like, I see the ball, I see Santana, and I was like, I got to separate his ass from this ball. Bow! I blew him up, and his arms were stuck in the air.
Oh, one of
and
those.
He was out.
This is practice?
No,
Or
it
in
was
the
a game.
Oh, okay.
In Atlanta at the Georgia Dome.
Okay.
I knocked him out, and it was a good hit. It was legal. I didn't get a penalty, nothing
Yeah.
like that, but he was out, and I felt terrible. But at the same time, it was like,
That's
listen,
the play you're supposed to make.
it's either, I got to separate you from this ball.
Yeah.
This is my job. You
That's
know what I mean?
like that-
And
no,
he
but
would do
that's-
the same to me.
yeah, exactly.
He would do the same thing to me. And so that's just a part of the game. Another guy was running a slant, came right down here. I didn't even backpedal. I was in the middle of the field. I was supposed to be 30 yards deep. I must have been at 15. I saw the play. Came straight down here. I didn't slow down at all. It ran through him, and he was out.
And it's
Knocked out.
that's the play. That's what you're supposed to do. Like that's the play, and it sucks. But you know what it is? It's not even. You get blindsided, and it could be from anybody. Like it could be a guy who's it could be like Jerome Bettis, a freaking bus, okay, and he's just coming down 265, whatever.
Please don't talk about him.
Come on. We know a bad story about him and Jerome. I remember it.
Man.
He rang his bell.
PTSD. But for okay, pick like Derrick Henry. Let's go with Derrick Henry. Right? Just switch it up. Big guy, right? 6'4", 45, 250. Big dude, right? If he's looking one way, you can have a guy who's, a smaller guy, could be 185, hits him at the right time, not looking, you're out, man.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because there are some guys that it don't really matter. Because I remember I played the Broncos. I was with Atlanta, and Brandon Marshall, he was big as hell too. Brandon he's still in good shape. He ran a slant route, and he came across the middle, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get him. Bow! I hit him. He didn't catch the ball. No, I hit him, and I knocked him back a little bit, and then he fell down. And I remember they were like, good hit, E. And I was like, I couldn't even breathe. I knocked all the wind out of my chest.
Right to a wall.
Oh, man, I knocked all the wind out of my chest, and he was just fine. And I was like, damn.
That's
strong.
like there's a I think it's Andrew Luck. They were talking about they did some mini series or whatever. I remember people talking about Andrew Luck saying that it was so difficult to play against because some of these
nice hit, man.
Yeah, some of these guys would come and
Good
just
hit, man.
and lay him out like you said, just lay him out, and he would get up like, man, good hit, bro, good hit. And they go, dude, it's how demoralizing it is when you just lay him, you give him as hard of a hit as you could possibly give him, and he just gets up and smacks you in the butt. Good hit, bro.
You know who else is like that too?
You're like, shit, man.
It's disarming. It takes away everything. It's Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald he'd be like, hey, what's up, Justin? How's the wife? Like, how you good? Okay. But he meant it. It wasn't like he was messing with you.
Then he would go.
He was just genuinely a nice guy. And then the ball's up in the air, and I'm jumping all over. I'm catching this pass, and he would just be like, man, that was a great play. You almost had me. Like, and it wasn't, but it wasn't.
You almost had it.
Yeah. Like, man, that was close.
By the way, I'm coming home for Christmas later. I'm coming home for Easter dinner.
Oh my God.
Yeah, really nice guy. But
He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Larry always seems like
he did. He does. He does seem like a very, very nice guy.
yeah, you
Does
mean
he
there's a lot of
smoke cigars
gentlemen.
too?
I don't know.
I don't know if he does.
He plays golf. I know that.
I know he's actually a very, very good golfer. I think.
Yeah. What have you? Do you know of any cigars like football players that you still talk to that are cigar smokers? Obviously, Ray Lewis.
Yeah, a lot of us are. It's kind of cool because cigars have kind of become that way for us to get away. You know what I mean? Like we live such hectic lives. Everybody has their stuff going on, and when you smoke a cigar, it's like, all right, I got 2 hours. I'm gonna sit down
Yeah.
and I'm gonna smoke this.
2 hours to yourself.
To yourself.
Yeah.
That I'm sitting here. I gotta let me just enjoy this. Let me take a break. But when I got done playing, I worked for the NFL Alumni Association. And at the Super Bowl, we used to have this event with Mike Ditka and Jaws and Ron Jaworski. It was the Ditka and Jaws cigar event. And it was at the Super Bowl every year. And it was like the best party of the Super Bowl. And you would see like, Ron Rivera. You'd see all the athletes, Ray Lewis. You'd see all these guys smoking cigars. And it was kind of like you see that there was like this small brotherhood within the brotherhood.
No doubt.
And it was like the cigar guys. And it's really cool, man. You see some guys who like have a cigar and you're like, you don't smoke. You playing with that cigar.
Yeah.
You're going to take a couple puffs and just put that out and walk away.
You see it when they like. Whole like,
well, I was
like,
just like,
oh man, like, what are you doing?
That was like a few weeks ago.
Get it inside the knuckle a little bit.
You wasting your time right now.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, the Raiders won I think they beat the Giants. It was like a regular season game, and they were all in the locker room smoking the acid Cubas, and like they panned the room, and some guys were like, trying to smoke the cigar, and then I forgot who.
Max Crosby,
bro. Come on, son.
that.
Have you seen that?
I haven't.
Bro, he does
he
a
hit it
ghost.
like he was hitting a blunt.
He does a ghost inhale. He's like
With a stogie?
Yeah.
after game interview.
Why being interviewed?
Oh.
He picks up the cigar. And he's like, yeah. Takes up hit of the cigar and just fucking does a ghost inhale. Like, easy as can be. Bro,
Didn't cough, nothing.
not a problem.
If he did, he don't smoke cigars. He smoked other cigars.
Oh,
He
He smokes the cigar
God's
wrappers.
Bro,
Just did a quick
I'll show you after, but yeah, it was,
No.
I was like, ooh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that again.
And he didn't cough.
No.
Nothing. Like, just hit it. Like, no big deal.
He was,
No.
I guarantee you he was nauseous. I don't care how much he smoked.
Dude,
no, you
that's...
can't do that. You can't do that. Maybe once.
Yeah.
Once.
Dude, I smoke cigars every day and I wouldn't do that.
Nah.
Never.
Bro,
Never.
It was wild.
Yeah, I saw that.
People were posting about it like, he doesn't smoke cigars. He's smoking something else.
Oh. Well, what was that?
Let me see, I'm pulling it up like
It was Robert Kraft. It was after the Patriots. I think the Patriots. When was the last time they won the Super Bowl? Might have been the most recent one. And he brought in a box of Padron 50s, Padron 50-year anniversaries. Mm-hmm. And I remember him handing them out and saying, "Hey, you guys want these cigars? They're 50 years old. They're 50 years old." And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Yeah, they're not 50 years old, man.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't be able to smoke it if it's 50 years old,
It
man."
would have crumbled.
I'm just like, man, these guys don't smoke cigars, man. But you know who actually does smoke? Football players. Joe Burrow, big cigar guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him. That's such a killer video of him after he won the national team. He's
Yeah,
sitting there
that's it.
like with a.
Like
like,
really enjoying it.
He's
though.
enjoying it. I'm like,
Yep.
that's badass.
I remember we got in trouble in Atlanta. We clinched the NFC South, and we were at the Superdome in New Orleans, and everybody was so pumped up. We were fired, jumping around, and somebody had cigars, and they lit up the cigars, and man, their security was so mad at us. They were they're like, "We're gonna find you." They were yelling at us. We were like, "Shut up! We just want the NFC South."
Let us celebrate.
You
Come
mad?
on.
You mad?
Now, what was it like? So, like going back to Detroit when they said, we're done here. What was going through your mind? Like, how do you transition from being an NFL player now to being just a regular person in life? Like, how do you transition and get prepared for that?
It was tough. It was tough, man, because, when I played, I did everything I could. I did internships. I remember my wife got me an internship with the NBC affiliate in Atlanta. So Tuesday was our day off. I would go into the studio. I'd wear a suit. They would put me on the teleprompter. They'd put me teach me how to sit down in front of a camera, how to address the camera. I would do this every week and like really work on broadcasting. And then, in the off season, I would go learn other people's crafts and just prepare myself. And I always knew that I wasn't just a football player. Like I was more than just a football player because I had the intellect and I was curious.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't until I was cut that I was like, what the hell am I going to do? Like I'm Erik Coleman, the football player. I'm more than a football player, but what am I? And I had no idea what the hell I was going to do.
It's like a rebirth. Now you gotta
yeah, man. I went into a depression like you would not believe, man, because, it's like you being a doctor, right? You're a doctor. You've been practicing medicine. You've been doing this, and all of a sudden somebody snatches your license from you and like figure it out. That's kind of that's how you feel.
And it was at a young age too.
Yeah,
'cause
you're
you were
31 years old.
Yeah.
I've been Erik the football player. Out of 31 years, I've been Erik the football player, probably 20 of them. You know what I mean? And now it was just taken away from me. I was like, I had no idea what I was going to do, how I was going to feed my family. And I knew that I could still play. And so that was very frustrating too. So there was a time, it was about 6 months, where I would be watching football, waiting for somebody to get hurt so I can get a call. I'm like, oh, yeah, that safety went down. I'll call my agent. Hey, I saw he went down. Am I going to get a call? And then I was like, what am I doing? Like, I don't want this dude to get hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're kind of, exactly.
And I'm still like I'm still working out, trying to be a football player. And then I had to come to the realization that it was over. And that was a tough pill to swallow. You know, it was, I got cut December of December of 2012. So the 12-13 season, I worked out that whole off season and I was getting ready. I was like, I'm going to go to someone's training camp. I didn't get invited to camp. I kept going week 1, week 2, no calls. And then I gave myself a deadline. I said, if by week 8, I don't have a call from a team, I'm done. And it got to like week 5 and I was like, I'm done. No, I'm done. I'm done chasing this dream. I'm getting myself all bent out of shape. You know, my wife would look at me and like, I remember one time my wife looked at me and started crying. She was like, you need to figure something out because you're miserable. Like, you're mean to the kids. You're mean to me. You're not fun to be around. Like, I would be hanging out like this and then like a TV would be on and there'd be a football highlight and I'd be laughing. Football highlight come on. I just go dark. And I'd go to the gym and I'd be working out and somebody would be like, oh man, the Giants need a safety. I just go dark. And it was just like, I didn't know how to handle it.
Sure.
And then I reached out to one of my guys, Kevin Winston, who I met with the Jets. He was a player development director. I called him crying. I was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. And he's like, I got you. He said, sign up for this, call this person. They helped me with my resume. There's this business fair that they put on in Atlanta. Flew down to Atlanta. They had all these companies come in. And they were all presenting to former players. And they were talking about what they look for in their company. It was like the CEO of UPS. All these companies would be there. And they were like, we're looking for people who are leaders, who know how to work hard, who can perform under pressure, who, you know, all these different things that they're looking for. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's me.
Yeah. You're like, check.
Yeah.
Check.
That's all me right there. And it was like a 4-day seminar. We went through mock interviews. We learned about different companies. We learned about all these different things. And at the end, you interview. You pick the companies you want to interview with. Give me your resume. You sit down for an interview. Man, I got offered like 3 jobs.
Right on the spot.
And at that time, I wasn't ready. So I said no to all of them. But I left that seminar with a new confidence. I was like, okay, I'm worth something to the world. But it took that for me to snap out of the depression that I was in. And then I started trying stuff. You know, I got into business for myself. I went and worked for somebody else. I did this. And like to this day, I still do like 10 different things, but I have my mainstays. You know, I'm in insurance, I'm in broadcasting, you know, and now I'm building houses and I'm trying to just continue to evolve as a person because I know I have way more to offer than just a normal person. So still trying to figure it out.
We always are. We're always figuring it out.
Oh yeah. But it seems like that, seminar of meeting with all the different companies as not so much, giving, they gave you some offers and jobs, but it gave you more of the, all right, now there's more, now there's hope. Now I have hope of, cause before, after you left the NFL, now you're like, well, I'm in this dark place. I have no idea. Am I worth any? Like, what can I do? Now it gives you this new sense of hope. Like, no, there's something out there. Yep. All right. Maybe it's not, this UPS or this thing or that, but there's something. I just gotta figure it out. Mm-hmm. So it just gave you that confidence to continue into the next chapter, right?
Exactly.
Football's done, and now it's it comes full circle. You're back in football again. Yeah. But on a different side of football, right?
It's
and probably when you were playing football, you're like, you probably never thought like, oh, what else could be in football besides playing football? You probably never thought that you were going to be an announcer and working with MSG and working with all these places, and it's like, well, now I'm back in football again. I'm around the game.
Yeah, it's cool.
But now I'm talking about the players on the field instead of somebody else talking about me. Oh, yeah, he just laid that guy out. Now you're sitting like, man, when you get hit up like that, you know how it feels. Yeah, so it's full circle.
It's cool because like when I was playing, I was doing all the internships and stuff, and my wife would be like, "What do you want to do when you're done?" I'm like, "Man, I'm good. I'm
never going to be done.
I'm not working no more. I'm good." And I remember my mother-in-law is a Sicilian immigrant, so she's like this little Sicilian lady, and she's like, "Eric, what are they doing?" And I'm explaining the game of football to her, and she looked at me and she's like, "You need to go into broadcasting, or you need to go into coaching, because the way that you just explained that, you got so happy, you got so passionate about it." And I didn't want to get into coaching because I was just tired of the game. I was tired of the egos. I was tired of all that. And during that time when I was kind of finding myself, I didn't watch football. I couldn't watch it because I wasn't over it. And so I remember I was living on Long Island and I got this phone call, and it was from a guy from the New York Jets. It was a PR guy, Jared Wimley. He's still the head of PR there. He called me. He was like, E. Cole, I heard you're in town. He said, there's a show on SNY. They're talking about the Jets in training camp. Would you like to go, check out the show? And I was like, sure, I'll give it a try. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to connect you, whatever. I went down to the studio, and I got there, and it was with Ray Lucas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Ray Lucas was there, Brian Custer. And I got on the show, and I didn't know. The only guys I knew on the Jets was like Revis and Nick Mangold, DeBrickashaw, the guys who I played with.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't been watching. And I was like, shit, like, all right, what am I going to do? And then it's a live show. So it's like, all right, we're going on air in 3, 2. And I was like, oh shit, my heart was just beating out of my chest. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, it was tough because it's one thing being interviewed, but it's another thing when you got to ask questions, when you got to answer questions.
Be engaging.
It's different. You got to be engaging and bring up topics. And it was different. And so after that episode, I remember going home and my wife saw the smile on my face. She's like, you liked it, didn't you? She's like, I told you. And so they invited me back to another one. And I got a little better the next one. And I got some pointers. And then they asked me to stay on for the season. And then it was like, that created that drive. I was like, I got to do this. You know what I mean? And then, and it wasn't until then that I got over football. So now I'm going to the games and I'm watching football. And now instead of being envious, I'm feeling sad for the guys who were playing. Like, damn, they got to go out there and do that to make a living. Like, I remember how that felt. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
And I continued to work at it. And what you do is you put in the same amount of work that you did in football, you put it in something else. Mm-hmm. And, someone told me this when I was done. They said, you didn't become the best football player in the world overnight. You had to put in years of work.
Yeah.
You had to get reps. You had to practice. You had to study. You had to do all these things. It's the same thing with any other thing that you focus on in life. So it started just doing that and continue to
reminds
grow
me
at it.
Like how you do one thing is how you do everything, right?
It reminds me of this. I just saw someone saying this, and it makes so much sense. But he was saying, he was talking about something very similar, where you're starting something new, or you're starting something for the first time, and you work, no results, but I'm a little better. I work, no results, but I'm a little better. I work, no results. Boom, I close a big deal. Boom, I got a new job. I'm ready for it. But I did all that work. I'm better. But I didn't show any results up front. But now I know what to do. And
right?
It's perfect. It makes so much sense.
I mean, it's just like
it's been like that with insurance with me. It was like, you're working. Okay,
Same.
where are the deals? What's going
Same.
on? And then all of a sudden, it's like you get one, and it's oh shit. Okay.
What do you do in insurance?
I do property and casualty, a lot of businesses, a lot of construction, a lot of development that I got into, and I was hired to kind of do the sports and entertainment world. But it turns out, like, my relationships, my friends, the people that I know, I do a lot of nonprofit work. They're all in business. They all own businesses.
Yeah.
So who are you going to go to? You're going to go to the people who own businesses. You're going to go back to what you know. So that's kind of turned into my niche. It's been great.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing it for about 3 years.
Yeah. All right. Almost the same. I've been doing it for almost 2 years.
Okay.
So I've always been in sales, but I actually was an intern at this brokerage on Long Island back in college. Mm-hmm. Stayed in contact, and I just started about 2 years ago. I do the same thing: property, casualty, construction, and it's the same thing. Work. No, not a lot of results, but I'm better. I look at it last year. Where was I last year? What was I doing? Mm-hmm. And I'm a lot better this year.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's
it's about changing those relationships, because like it went from everybody looking at me for something. Oh, I want tickets. I want time. I want this. To now, I got to kind of change that relationship to, you give me something, I give you something. Yeah. And it was tough for me. It was tough for me to ask somebody for help, because I've always been the guy what's up? I'm the football
that guy.
player.
That Eco here, baby. Eco, baby. I'm right here. I'm right here.
What's up? What you need? But I think that's where a lot of guys struggle too. Is like you get. It's not that you're arrogant, but you're so used to people coming to you that now when you're done, it's not like that. Life isn't like that. Like somebody will hang up on you. Like, oh yeah, you're a football player. Oh, that's great. I love you. You're a great player. What? Can I have your business?
Nah, I'm good.
Nah.
All right. And then you're like, what do I do?
My broker's my cousin.
Yeah, exactly. So it's tough. You got to learn how to deal with that. You got to get rid of your ego. You got to get rid of all that stuff, put it to the side, and just continue to grind.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're saying where you keep putting that thing and you don't really see until one day. It's just like in the gym, right? You get into the gym, right? The first time you start working out, you're going to work out for a week. You're not going to notice anything. You're going to work out for 3 months. You're not going to notice anything. You'll work out for 6 months. You may not notice anything. Mm-hmm. But then you get to you look at a picture of yourself from a year and a half ago, and it's like night and day.
Yep.
Or if you go to somebody hasn't seen you, right? You don't see somebody for 6 months. They start working out. They come back. They might not notice a single thing. Like, yeah, my arm, I don't really notice it. But they go, dude, what are you talking about?
They hug you and you go,
you look jacked, man.
They give you a nice hug and they're like, oh,
yeah,
Eric.
Meanwhile, it's like,
you're a little tight.
and it's funny too because it's like I remember when I first started like really like working out. I mean, you work out through sports and stuff, but you don't really. Like you're doing sport specific stuff. You're not
Functional
really like,
stuff.
working out to really, get some, look good and but somebody had said to me, they said, all right, you started working out. They said, just be prepared that you're never going to be as big as you want to be.
Never.
You're never going to like look as good as you want to look, right? Like it's just like this perpetual thing of just like, all right, my arms can get a little bigger. Maybe my chest can get a little, maybe I can get some bigger traps. Maybe I can get some abs.
Always something
like there's always something, right? Like, all right,
that's hitting, but
like I hit 315, now I can hit 365, now I can hit 405. It's like there's always like a little something.
Going to the gym will humble you.
But it's good because it always gives you something to like. It's almost like never being satisfied. It's always like, I ran 10 miles today. Maybe I can run 10 and a half. Or, I did this for 8 reps. Maybe I could do 9 reps. It's always like giving you that a little something to continue to reach, which is good because it keeps pushing you.
You need that in life.
Are you a morning or AM workout guy or a PM workout guy?
100% AM guy.
Yeah, we got to get into workout, man, because clearly, we got to
do it.
Well, we got a couple LBs on you. We got to talk about some of these.
Yeah, man. My whole career, like even in high school, we had 0 hour. In college, we work out at like 5 in the morning. In NFL, you work out early. And even in the off seasons, when I would be down in Florida, I'd work out at the 6 a.m. group. And it was like, I always had to wake up, work out. I can't eat anything. I don't want to drink nothing. I just want to go work out.
You lift heavy on an empty stomach too?
All the time.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. Like, and then it gets tough because, like, let's say I'm going to work out at 2:00, right? Life always happens.
100%.
There's always going to be something that gets in the way of working out. Like somebody's going to call you. You got a conference call. You got to do this. Your kids are sick. Something's going to happen. But when you wake up before everybody else, your phone ain't ringing. You get to lock in and just get your workout in and then start your day. That's what I like.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And I
sucks for strength training though. Feel like if you want to lift heavy and you got no calories in you, you're like, dang. Man. Or you get that one workout like, okay, let's say it's like a Saturday, and somebody's like, hey, we're gonna do some heavy legs or something, and it's like 3:00 in the afternoon, and you actually and you ate and you do some heavy legs.
I do notice that,
and you're like, shit, and then you work out the next time, it's 5 a.m. You got you're like, dang, man, I am so much stronger when I got food.
I do see that.
I'm not a power guy, so I can't fall into that.
Yeah, I stopped lifting heavy too. I don't lift.
I started doing I wake up. I have an alarm for 5 a.m. I usually get to the gym at 5:30. But what really got me going one day was the former Navy SEAL Jocko, big popular
Jocko,
guy.
yeah.
And he was talking about the same thing. He's like, listen, I have a family. I have a bunch of responsibilities during the day. I wake up at 4:30 or 4:00. And I go to the gym because that's the only time I have to myself. My kid's going to want me at 6:00. My wife's going to want me, my blah, 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 blah. So between 4:00 and 4:30 is the only time I have for myself. And I was like, man, that makes a lot of sense. I don't have any kids or anything right now, but, I would commute a long time. I'd have to get up early. So I was like, I have to get up earlier before I can work out because I hate working out at the end of the day. Everyone's there. Kids are after school. And there's something different about
that morning group is a different breed.
Different.
When you go to the gym in the morning, it's like, you see the same Susie, Tim, you see all these same people sitting there every morning, and it's like a religion.
And you get up and it's still dark out, and you leave the gym and it's still dark out.
You feel good though, like you're just like,
you do.
Now that I did the hardest thing that I'm going to do all day, what's next?
Yeah,
no doubt.
Well, it's funny because like I like to work out, and I'll usually work out at like 4:00. Right, because I don't have any kids right now. My wife won't get home until 6:00. So I'm like, all right, I'll work out 4. But I've been doing in the mornings, like getting up and doing treadmill in the morning, and then hopping in a cold shower. Right, because I've been doing. I don't know if you've done research on like cold plunging and stuff.
Great
right,
for you.
So I heard, but I don't want to spend $10,000 on a cold plunge. Right, so I'm like, all right, what's the next best thing? Cold showers. Right, and I got to tell you, man. So I'll do the 15-20 minutes just to morning, get up, get your body moving. Right, get something. Chug some water, get something moving, okay? So you do the treadmill, jump in a cold shower in like 3 minutes, as cold as it can be, and it sucks every morning, right? I'm like, it sucks, okay?
How long do you do it for?
I do it for 3 minutes, cold shower, as cold as it can go, and I'll sit under there, and I'll pray while I'm under the shower.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's a lot of benefits, right? Of cold, like same thing if you're working out, you get an ice bath and it's cold for inflammation and for cardiovascular, for circulation, all that things. But it's more the mental thing, right? Of all right, this is going to suck. I know it's going to suck. It's going to be very uncomfortable. I'm doing it anyway.
Yep.
Get in there, do it. And when you get out, right, the workout, the cold shower, I get out, I'm like, man, I feel fucking great. Yeah. I feel fantastic. But then you do like the workout in the afternoon, but right? So now I'm thinking, okay, well, come time when I do have kids, I think for that, like the 9 months that, my wife is pregnant, to switch to morning, to get on that morning routine, because I know the kids come, it's like, all right, 4 o'clock ain't going to be working out time anymore, okay? So it's like, now we got to switch it, right? We'll do the treadmill, work out, cold shower, get it ready to go. But it's, I've been doing the cold showers. I gotta tell you.
I've tried that. I tried that a few times back a couple of years ago. It's tough. It's tough.
It sucks.
It's not easy.
Yeah, we used to get in the cold tub after every practice. Like, it was like you had to get in the cold tub if you wanted to practice the next day.
You feel great when you get out, though, right?
Oh, man, you feel amazing. But, thankfully, in the NFL, you got these big cold tubs that hold like 15 guys. And so we got the hot tub on one side and the cold tub on the other. And some guys
looking at that hot tub like,
yeah, they would, look at that. And then some guys would cheat. They would go grab a towel and put it in the hot tub and put it around their shoulders to get the cold. I'm like, man, that ain't doing nothing for you. It's just giving you that mental break, I guess, for the first 90 seconds until your body's numb. But that cold tub, man. You got to get like a the horse trough. Just put some water in it, leave it outside. It's cold out here.
Yeah, in New York,
Let's go out on that.
I see people do that. Yeah,
I thought about doing that too, because I'm looking them up and I'm like, these things are like $10,000 for the tub that actually.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not spending $10,000. I'm like, now granted, the cold shower is not as effective as complete submersion.
A lot better than nothing.
But it's a lot better than nothing. I'm like, and that first 30 seconds sucks every morning.
Yeah.
Man. That's you. And it's funny because I was just telling my father this. I just picked him up from the airport. I'm on the way home. I was telling him about the cold stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I really like it. It's really good. I said, but the funny thing is so I'm sitting in there, I'm standing in the shower and I'm praying. And I said, it's funny because the way I'm praying and I'm saying all my stuff out loud, but I'm like, thank you God for everything. Thank you for everything. Thank you for all the blessings. Just like trying to talk while you're freezing.
He hear you. God hear you.
I'm like, and then when the last minute, you're just like, all right, now it's fine because your body's numb.
Yeah.
But those first 30 seconds, you're
just know he hear you.
I'm like, yeah, he hears.
You put it all the way up. You put it all the way cold.
As cold as it can go.
I'm gonna try it.
As cold as it can go.
3 minutes.
And I just tell my phone, I go put on a time for 3 minutes. And I put it, cause
you never get used to it, right?
No.
You never get used to it.
So I put as cold as I can go and I turn it on and I let it run for like 10, 15 seconds because sometimes because it was hot previously, you might get that first 10 seconds of warmth and then that sucks because it's cold, then it goes warm and then it goes back
like
cold.
A hot towel.
Right? So I just put it cold as it can be, let it run 10 seconds, and then as soon as the timer, you just jump in, close the door, and I'm just like, and I'm sitting there, my hands on the thing, and you gotta like cover yourself. But the worst is like, you're not completely submerged. So I'll go from like letting it come on my, like the water. Yeah.
Let it come on my chest.
I stopped it. Before it happened.
I didn't say it.
I didn't say it. But you let the.
I was sitting there like.
You let the water fall like on your chest, but then you lean forward, let it fall like on your back, and so going back and forth between that to make sure. And it's just like, or you turn around, you let it hit like your ribs. You're just like sitting there. I'm like, man, it sucks.
But how good is it? Like after you did all that working out, you did the cold, and then later in the day, you're like, all right, I'm gonna have a smoke.
Yeah,
it's like you earned it. Like you earned your cigar.
Done.
It's like,
done. You just get out, and I'll tell you something. Getting out of a cold shower is so much better than getting out of a warm one. Man, you get out the cold shower. You get out of a warm shower.
It's already cold.
And you're like, I'm already cold, right?
Yeah.
You got the cold shower. I'm numb. I was like, I'm not cold at all. I could go outside. It's -10. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Don't let your lady be around though.
No, you gotta get the towel on before you get out the bathroom, okay?
Yeah.
I'm like, honey, turn around while I put my drawers on.
What type of shit is this?
That's what I signed up for.
Yeah, honey, turn around before I put my drawers on, all right?
What is this type of shit?
You know how sometimes you're like, honey, don't look at me while I'm changing? Yeah, this is the time you don't look at me while I'm changing,
like,
okay?
For real, no.
Like, I didn't know it did that.
Okay,
yeah, well, you're not supposed to see that.
I want to scar you for life, all right? I want to stay married, okay?
Oh, my God. Where, so... You've been on Long Island for a while. You go between Long Island and Florida. Where are some of your favorite places to eat on Long Island?
Some of my favorite places to eat. Okay, so I'm in Old Brookville now. And so I like Hendrick's Tavern.
Oh, man.
Is a good spot. I'm trying, tonight I'm going on a date to Farm Italy. I've been hearing all about this
Up
in
north?
Huntington. In Huntington.
Oh, you are going there?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I'm looking forward to Farm
Oh,
Italy.
man, dude. That place is great. I'm surprised you got a reservation.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, they're packed
Oh,
the time.
my wife is like my publicist. She's like, oh, I have an NFL football player that wants to come
hell
through.
yeah.
And so she hooked me up.
Oh, you're going to love that place. And you
we
like
got-
Italian, obviously.
I love Italian
Oh,
food.
man.
My wife's family has a restaurant in Patchogue. Damn, I just forgot the name of it. Damn, they used to. It's Dang, I was just on the tip of my tongue, and I'm sorry that I forgot the name of it.
Sorry, we'll edit this out.
Yeah, it was edit this one out. But
I'll look it up.
Because
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up because
Italian.
I'm my family's from Holbrook, so Patchogue's the next town
Let's
over.
see.
So
what
I'm
is it called?
I'm curious to know what that is.
Italian restaurant Patchogue.
He just wants to get us on the Google to get the clicks and get the.
Here we go.
You gotta give him a shout out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's see here.
What is it like on
It's
the
on that main strip.
Oh, it is on the
Yeah,
like
it's
on the
on
main street.
strip.
Oh shit.
How
long has it been?
Not Lombard. Is it Lombardi's?
No.
No.
Been there for about 3-4 years.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay, so there's Locale.
Locale.
Locale?
Yeah.
Locale?
Oh, shit,
okay.
okay.
Yeah, so my wife's family has a restaurant called Locale.
Shout out Locale.
In Patchogue. It's a really good spot. It's good for drinks and everything like that too. So we'll go over there. I'm trying to think. There's
But you like Hendrix too?
Yeah, I like Hendrix.
I love Hendrix.
I like Locust Valley. They have some good.
I haven't been to
Basil
that
Leaf.
one.
There's a spot called Basil Leaf. That's excellent.
I haven't been out to Locust Valley.
I'm a foodie. I love food. That's one thing I can do.
Especially if your wife's Italian. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta.
And she grew up in the restaurant business. You know, her family owned a couple restaurants. They still own restaurants. So, you know, the food is flowing.
Have
And
you
that's why
been
it's been
over
hard
to
for me to keep off the pounds.
Have
No
you been
doubt.
to Italy with your wife?
Yeah, I've been to Italy several times. They're from Sicily, so we go to Sicily. We're going this summer. About 60 people, 60 of us are going. So we try to go every other summer, and eating food there, it'll ruin food for you.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, so, for instance, since the first time I went to Sicily, which was probably I think my daughter was probably 3 years old, I haven't drank Starbucks. Because I had cappuccino in Italy, and I was like, "There's no way I'm paying to drink that."
No.
So I can't drink. It just ruined coffee.
Did you learn that you're not supposed to drink cappuccinos in the afternoon?
Yeah, afternoon. After 10?
It's like, no.
Afternoon, you can't have cappuccino. That's for the morning. Then you
Yeah.
gotta drink the espresso.
It's like a big no.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a no. Nothing with no milk after
yeah, don't go
breakfast.
asking for a cappuccino.
They look at you weird.
Look at
I
you like
mean,
you crazy.
just wanna,
If you guys ever are like, man, where is Eric? I don't know. He's missing
He's
somewhere.
in Italy.
I'm over there.
He's over there.
I'm over there hanging out.
How long you going for in the summer?
We're going for about like 15 days.
Shit, 2
yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
Nice,
We're
man.
going for
And 60 people, is that all family?
Yeah, all family. All
Are you guys
first and
having like a
second
party?
cousins.
You guys just renting out?
We are having a party. It's her uncle's 70th birthday party, and he just bought a spot, bought a home over there. So we're gonna go have the party there. But we're gonna stay at the different hotels. We go all around Sicily. I'm the driver, so I get the minivan. Actually, it's a big van. It's like a 12-passenger van, stick shift.
The cold bus.
Oh
There you
man,
go. There you
Dude,
go.
And I drive, man. I'm telling you, my hip. I drove from Shaka down to Agrigento, where my wife's family's from, and I swear I drove for 2.5 hours. I didn't go above third gear because we were going up mountains and down mountains.
Yeah.
And
And those
dude,
mountains are scary, man.
It's scary. The next morning, I woke up and I felt like somebody kicked me in my hip from changing from the clutch.
Oh man.
Oh man, I said, "Oh, what happened to my hip?" But it was,
And that's a
the
bus
most
clutch
beautiful.
too. It's not like an easy little car clutch.
Oh yeah, it was 12 passenger.
Oh, man.
oh it was terrible. But it was the most amazing trip in the world, man. It was the best.
See, there's a
Gotta go.
when we were in Amalfi Coast, there was an island like right there's Capri, which is a bigger island, but then there's a small island, and we're taking this little tour, and the guy goes, "You see that island over there?" He said, "You can actually rent that island for I don't know what it was. I think it was like $150,000 or $200,000 for the week."
Wow.
It says you can rent that island, and it comes with it houses like 50 people. It comes with its own staff, like chefs and maids and all sorts of stuff. And it's like you have to fly into Naples, whatever. You drive out to Amalfi Coast. You take a boat across.
You swim over.
And yeah, you can swim over.
A little buoy.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I go, could you imagine just saying, you know what? Instead of spending this money on a wedding, I'm just going to rent that island. That's going to be where, like the 70th birthday party, we're just going to rent that island.
Yeah.
And it comes fully
You got his
staffed and
mind
everything.
thinking. I might have to make a change.
So next time we have the Burn Down podcast, and I'm a guest, we got to have it over on the island.
Have it over on the island.
Hey, I'm down for that.
I was like, damn,
All expenses
man.
paid on the burn
Yeah.
down. I love that. I have not gone. My wife, that's like her number one bucket list. She's all Sicilian, so she's like, "Can we just go to Italy?"
You got it.
Just be prepared that it is going to ruin food. Like, if you come back here and have Italian food and make this. Although the Farm Italy up in Huntington, their Italian food's great.
I can't wait.
Their Italian food is really good. Yeah, it's a good spot.
And I'm gonna ask you a question about your cigar. I'm like obsessed with my cigar being even. Is that like a faux pas amongst cigar smokers?
I'm saying.
Okay.
Saying that's why
I'm like constantly like burning and making sure.
Nah,
it's actually
when it gets longer or it doesn't burn properly.
They say that it's better for the flavor too. That when it's actually an even burn, that the smoke is like coming in evenly and not kind of all tainted.
Yeah, because if your cigar is burned uneven, you might be really smoking halfway through a cigar, but the burn might be 3/4 of the cigar, so you might be trying
the flavor profiles to match up.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's all about the aesthetics.
Time out. This Blueprint cigar is amazing.
Hey.
You like it, man?
It's amazing. I got spoiled, and I got a nice Cuban connection, and so I smoke a lot of Cuban cigars, and I'm like, I don't want to smoke that. This is amazing.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
I'm definitely gonna.
NFL vet loving the burn down and the Blueprint, baby.
Mm-hmm. We'll send you home with a bunch of them. We got quite the stock of blueprints.
All right. I'll gladly take those.
Yeah.
I know you came in with the cube, and I was just like, hey, listen, man, we gotta.
Yeah, I was in London. I was in London for the Jets actually.
The Jet game when they were over there, right?
Yeah. Well, they had the Black Friday game, and I hosted a party in Manchester, and so they flew me out there. I hosted the party. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun. But I went to London, and that was my second time in London. And I don't know if you guys have been.
I haven't. I want to go.
But as cigar smokers,
it's a different culture over there, right?
Oh man! So I went to Davidoff. I went to James J. Fox over there, and then I couldn't smoke because James J. Fox, they have like a little area where there's like 4 or 5 seats, and I didn't really feel like smoking in that environment. And it was like 30 degrees. There was an outdoor place that you can smoke. I was like, man, it's like 30 degrees. I'm not smoking out. I'm not coming to London to smoke and be shivering while I smoke my cigar. And so Davidoff doesn't have a lounge anymore. So I looked up a spot. I went around the corner. I went to the Ritz Cigar Lounge.
Oh, hell yeah.
You talk about getting humbled. Oh my goodness. So I walk up, everybody got the top hats and the
dressed to the nines.
Just the doorman is like he looks better than anybody.
White gloves.
Yeah. And so I walk in the Ritz, and then you go to the right, and there's a cigar lounge, and you open the door, and they have like the waiters there in the white coats. And I swear there was like this prince sitting in the corner. There's all these guys sitting there. And I was like, yeah, I want to grab a cigar and have a drink or something. And the waiter guy goes, do you want to look at the menu first? And I look at him like, what do you think I am? I was like, man, I want to sit down.
Hey, you know what? Give me the most expensive one you got.
What are you talking about? So I sat down and I opened up that menu and I was like, oh, that's what he was talking about. But now my pride kicked in and I was like, I can't walk out now. And so I looked at the menu and it was like a cocktail. They had the cocktail list and it was like 30 pounds for a drink. And 30 pounds is like $45, like 40 something dollars. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to get this drink. And then I looked at the cigar menu and I'm looking and I said, can I go see your humidor? Cause he's telling me this cigar would be great. It's like 130 pounds for a cigar.
Of course, yeah.
And so I go in there and I'm looking around and I find one that I think I like. I went and smoked it, man. And I was like, I had one day in London. I was like, I'm going to have this nice drink. I'm going to have like some peanuts. I'm going to have my cigar. And it was the coolest feeling ever.
Sitting next to the Prince of, Abu Dhabi
these
over
guys
here.
Kept coming in. Everybody is well dressed. Everybody has a scarf and a nice, tie.
How were you dressed?
I was dressed probably similar to how I am now. I look very American. I had my boots on. I had my jeans.
Anybody looking at you like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, this guy is definitely American. And then it was like a Saturday. So I had to use the restroom. I went into the lobby and they had afternoon tea. So now the women, they got the top hats on, the beautiful dresses. The guys are in these nice suits. And I'm like, man, I'm standing out right now. I don't care.
This is not my cup of tea.
You guys will never see me again, so I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna enjoy this moment. But it was a blast, man. I grabbed a couple of sticks. It was a really cool experience.
Damn. And cool. where do you go on Long Island to smoke cigars?
So on Long Island, I go when it's nice out. I like to go to Oheka Castle.
Oh, nice.
I like to smoke outside over there. I go to Matador in Roslyn.
Nice. Okay.
I haven't been over it, but after the reconstruction, but I was going over to Eisenhower Park.
Yes.
To the Havana. I think it's called something else. I haven't been over there yet.
That's a good spot. So it's called the General Club. Mm. Yeah. So they just redid it. A friend of ours is she's the like event coordinator, event manager of because they redid it. It's called the Lannon. Is the catering hall.
Uh-huh.
Then the Union is the restaurant, and the General Club is the cigar lounge. And it's actually not bad, the membership there, because it's a private only, but it's only like $2,000 or $2,500 for the year to be a member, and you can bring whoever you want.
Can you hook your boy up? Let me just get a tour.
Right, I would do it. I talked to the guy.
Number.
Yeah, I talked to the guy there. His name is Nico. I think his name is Nico. He's the general manager of the General Club. And he was like, yeah, if you ever want to, like, you know, you can rent it out and have events. They have like poker rooms. They have pool table rooms. They have, it's a nice, they have the outdoor patio is like right on the 18th green. That you can,
nice.
It's a nice spot because it used to be the Carlton.
Yeah.
Right. But it's a really nice spot. So you can go in, you have dinner, you can go up and have a cigar, and you can just always ask him too. Like if you go and have dinner, you just say, hey, listen, you know, I'm thinking about becoming a member. Can I check out the lounge?
Yeah.
Sure. No problem.
Have your wife call. NFL player.
Exactly.
NFL player.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There you go. There you
Like
go.
the tour.
There you go.
I was over in, I was spending a lot of time in northern New Jersey, and she hooked me up at the Davidoff Lounge.
Oh, nice.
Over there in Ridgewood. That was a really nice experience. I used to go over there and do a lot of work. And then in the city, I would go to the Havana Club. I've been there several times. I wish that place was still up
I think
and running.
it's still under construction.
Is it?
I think that it may not be in existence anymore.
Okay, I thought they
Maybe
were
they're redoing it or something?
Yeah, I hope they are.
Yeah.
I thought they were redoing it.
There's a good spot in Jersey. It's in Inglewood. It's called Sophia's.
Oh yeah.
So it's a restaurant just over the water in Inglewood, New Jersey, where you can smoke cigars and eat.
Oh man,
And it's great. I took him there once. We
like
had
a gentleman.
Oh, it's nice. So they had.
You know who sat next to us? Tyrod Taylor.
He did.
Okay.
He did. Yeah.
He was. He was
so we
smoking a
were.
cigar down there.
It's a regular
That
restaurant.
dude can dress.
And then they have a downstairs, like if you want to say, hey, I'd like to have a cigar as well, they take you downstairs down this long hallway, and it opens up into this little speakeasy lounge. And the full menu is available, and you can smoke cigars. We were having an appetizer cigar, right? A little mild
man.
one. Some calamari. Eating. Next thing you know, get some steaks, another cigar, a little drink. And you're sitting there at your dinner table,
That's
smoking
awesome.
and eating. I'm like, this is nice.
That's
this
cool.
is nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, when did we do that event? That was like September?
I don't remember. We did an
Yeah.
event in Jersey, and it was.
It was crazy because I didn't see my invite anywhere.
Oh.
Man, you follow
Hit us.
follow
with
us on the gram. We post it
Hit
all the
us
time.
with it.
You know what? From
Knocked out, ribs broken.
From now on, every time
hands
an
stuck
event,
in the air.
say no more. Every
man.
time we're doing an event now, you get in a text. We're doing an event at Matador January 20th.
You know what he's
on
gotta come to?
Saturday.
January when?
January 20th at Matador and Hop
In Hop
Hop.
Hog,
Okay.
yeah.
I like it over there too.
You know,
It's a good
he's
spot.
got to come to the next one at Mamaroneck.
Oh, yeah.
We did an event in Mamaroneck at a place called Modern on the Rails.
Uh-huh.
Big networking event. It was for Christmas, and there was like 150 people there, all different industries. And we had a little booth set up. We were selling cigars. They had a cigar roller. They have dinner included. The drinks are included.
Whole
It's
nine.
like
It was great.
it's like $200 a ticket or something. Great spot. And everybody's just hanging out. You know, dressed nice, smoking cigars.
Nice.
It's a great spot. It really
That's
was.
awesome.
It was.
I
Beautiful.
know John Starks has a place in Connecticut.
Yeah, we were there.
Oh, how is it?
Yeah, we interviewed him.
Okay, I heard it was
Yeah.
In Stanford. In Stanford.
In Stanford, yeah.
Yeah, one of my buddies went over there for business and said it was really nice.
Very. You know what's interesting about John Starks is when you watch him on the court, firecracker, loud,
He's a
in your
dog.
face, right? Off the court, soft.
He's a mouse,
Just quiet, soft spoken gentleman. I'm like, I would have. He goes, yeah, just on the court, it's like a light bulb, like a
Yeah.
light switch. He goes, I'm a different person.
Yeah, I was actually at an event at Macanudo's, and
In the city?
Yeah, in the city, and it was like a SWAT team, like charity fundraiser thing, and they were introducing the celebrities that were there, and I'm just sitting there chilling, and the guy was like, "How many of you in here have dunked on Michael Jordan?" And then it was like one
guy.
Like, yeah, there was like one guy, and then John Starks walks up. He was so cool, man. That guy,
Yeah,
he's a classy
smooth
dude.
criminal for sure. He's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
really
yeah.
chill- we interviewed him, and he talked so soft. Justin had to do some wizardry engineering work to amplify the audio because he would talk like this, and he was like, "Yeah, and I used to, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's a true player right there.
oh,
Yeah.
100%."
Silent assassin, man.
I had to ask him about. I was like, which New York Knick ended up, which New York Knick did, Biggie get involved with?
Oh,
that
the story
stuff?
to tell?
He's like, no, I'm not. I can't
He's like,
tell
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm
He
not
goes,
telling
I
that
know.
one.
And we asked.
I actually researched that.
Did you?
Yeah, I researched it. I love that song.
Oh, come on, it's the best.
We
He
asked
said
him.
they got rained out.
He said, we go, do you not know, or do you know and can't tell? He goes, I can't tell. I was like, yeah, you know who it is. Like, you know exactly
I
who
gotta
it is.
ask.
After the pod, we'll talk about it. I'll tell you
He's
what-
like, yeah, I know who it is. I was like, okay, all right.
That was
Fair enough.
classic. But yeah, he was a cool dude. Very cool, dude.
That's awesome.
How long have we been going? I don't even know how far we've been going. We need a clock in here.
Hour and 40 minutes.
Damn, really?
Yeah. Probably coming up towards the end.
Time flies when you have good company and a great cigar.
Yeah, man.
So you're enjoying the blueprint. That's what I got. That's what I got from this.
I love the blueprint.
That's the only thing you got
did a
for this
great
whole
job.
episode.
Hey,
The whole thing.
That's it.
who'd you play for again? What team? What'd you do? No, but I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else? I mean, we kind of covered. I know we touched on it. I don't know if we want to reopen the PTSD. Last time we talked about it, we talked about the bus, Jerome Bettis.
Oh yeah, I listen. I mentioned.
Did you remember that or no?
I didn't, but then as soon as I said it, and I saw his head go down. I was like, "Fuck, that's right." I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna go this way. Okay.
I actually recently ran into Jerome Bettis. There's this charity event that I go to at Sabonic, the golf course out in Southampton.
Okay.
It's for North Shore. It's the Peconic Hockey League fundraiser, and everybody will be there. From like Mr. Ledecky will be there, Mark Messier, Jerome Bettis goes every year. Wow. I've been like 3 times and seen him every year. It's to raise money for an indoor hockey facility in New York, on Long Island, out east. So I saw Jerome Bettis out there, and I was like, dude, I got to tell you a story. How about you? I said, you may not remember me because it was like, 2004. That was, 20 years ago, but I was a rookie, and I told him the story. He started laughing, and he was such a cool guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's another gentleman as well, just real humble.
Does he smoke cigars too?
Yeah, he smokes cigars. He likes to golf, and he's actually like a crazy bowler.
Really?
He was like in a bowling league and had to decide whether he's going to bowl or go to college to play football.
Wow.
He bowled a 300.
He's like that.
Really?
Yeah, like
Wow.
crazy. Like in Detroit, I think there's a story he was, inner city kid. They had like these bowling leagues, and he learned how to bowl in Detroit and just became a member of the team and just continued to progress.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not a hard decision. Bowler, NFL. Bowler, NFL.
Right.
I guess, probably, might be stacked on one side of that decision.
Let me see. I go run over Erik Coleman or throw a strike down the middle.
No, I have my Jerome Bettis story is I played strong safety too as well in high school. And we were scrimmaging Riverhead, and at the time I forgot his name, but the running back, he was a short, stocky kid. He was nasty, and I remember me and him were face to face, and I'm like this little skinny kid, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get my bell rung to shit. And he's like full steam. He's a grown ass man.
Yeah.
I'm like in 10th
He got
grade.
facial hair and shit.
Oh my god. And
His 5-year-old's watching him on the sidelines, right? You're like,
100%.
this kid's in high school?
I took him down, but he gained like another 5 yards, and I stood up and I was like, what year is it? I was like, I don't know if I want to play strong safety anymore.
Yeah.
I went to wide receiver.
bell rung.
Or you know what you do? You start cheating up more so the distance
Yeah,
is
you
closer.
close that gap.
Yeah, you get him right after he get past the linebackers.
Because getting your bell rung like that,
Oh, it's not
I
fun.
can't imagine how the guys do it all the time in the NFL.
Nah.
I'd say, see, I have a similar. It's not a bell rung story, but it's the basketball equivalent. So I was playing in a game in Island Garden. I don't know if you know where Island Garden is over in West Hempstead, but I was in high school. I was on the travel team. We're playing this game, and we're playing against. And again, it's like you look at these guys, and I'm like, it's a 16 and under league, and I'm like, there's no fucking way you're 16. I'm like, there is no way. Okay, dude's like 6'7", just built like a brick shit house, facial hair, and I'm like, there's no way. So we're playing. We used to play a lot of zone, right? So the play kind of broke down. They're coming down. And we're getting back on defense. And I used to play, the top. I was a guard, so I would play on the top of the 2-3, right? But the guy that was on the bottom of the bottom left on the block wasn't in position. So I'm like,
You had to
shit.
rotate down.
So I'm rotating down, right? But the ball is swinging around, and this guy is sitting right in the short corner. So I don't know if you know where the short corner is, but it's between the block and the corner 3. He's sitting there right there like this, waiting for it. So the ball comes past around. It gets past him, and I'm dropping down, right? And I was too late. And he catches it, takes one dribble, and rises up. And I'm there like a split second too late to take the charge, and it's just nuts, right? And just like, pow, right on top of me, right? And I try to take the charge, and I don't get the call because I'm a little late, and I'm just sitting there like, fuck. Like, it was,
man, they probably had to stop the game.
Oh,
You got these nuts in your
it
face.
was bad. It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, but shit happens, right? Because I've dunked on people, and then you got to like
be the
same thing, right? Like,
recipient
listen, you ring somebody's bells, you got to be able to take it too.
What goes
man.
around comes around. For
It
sure.
was just, it was bad. It was bad. Like full on, just because I didn't jump. And I think if I would have jumped, it would have been even worse.
Yeah, it would have been even
but
worse.
I was just like, it was just right on top. And he flushed it, dude, hanging on the rim. I was like, fuck.
Oh, man.
Fuck.
Just go down the other side with your head hands
Just
down.
keep going. I mean, we won the game, so it was good. But, like, he got the best of me on that one. That was,
Oh, man.
ugh.
Happens to the best.
Happens, man.
Yeah, you play long enough, it's going to happen.
Like you said, if you want to give one out, you got to be able to take it.
No doubt.
Got to be able to take it.
Well, boys and girls, thank you for listening. I think we're coming to the end.
Listening to
here.
my balls to the face story.
You had a couple moments, man.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it, man. The one with the,
I saw it, and then Eric was like, "Oh, he gave me
pause,
he's like,
pause,
he gave me like a little,
what?
But Eric, thank you for
Yes,
coming
thank you.
down to the studio, hanging out with us for the last 2 hours. Getting to know you even more.
Yeah.
But if there's anything that you want to plug away where people can check you out, or any events coming up, any fundraisers that you're doing, plug away. The carpet is yours, my friend. Please.
No, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me, and it's great to finally get in studio with you instead of being on Zoom or something. But you guys are excellent hosts. It's great chatting with you. Thanks for having me. The Blueprint cigar was sick. It was amazing.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to Harlem Standard. And make sure you guys enjoy that.
I'm going to have some right now.
Oh, yeah.
As soon
We'll
as we
have
turn
a
this
glass.
off, I'm going to pour a little bit.
I'll pour one up with you guys.
Yeah.
And, just, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to everybody. And find me on Instagram, Twitter, at Erik Coleman. Holla at me.
MSG, CBS.
Erik with a K.
Yeah.
Erik with a K. There's not too many guys that have the same name as me that I like that's with K, but you are the exception. I will give you that.
Man,
CK
appreciate
is
it.
even worse.
Oh, CK is the worst.
What about a CH?
Unacceptable.
I was going to say, there's a CH out there. Look at that face. That's
That's
exactly how I
There's
feel.
a CH.
That's terrible.
German. That's German.
There's a CH.
That's
Eric.
terrible.
Jeremy
That's what it
Rucker.
is.
His brother is Eric.
Eric.
With a CH.
Eric with a CH.
No disrespect. I met his dad and everything. Hey,
He's a baller, too.
he was out of pocket for that.
He's a
Yeah,
baller,
it's not-
too, man.
Oh, he is a baller.
His dad's a nutcase. His
Yeah.
dad's a nut.
No, he's a
I
family.
love it.
He's a family friend of. He grew up in Lindenhurst, so
Yeah.
he's a family friend of my
Good
uncle's.
family.
His son,
Yeah,
Jerry,
good family.
the brother, the younger brother, worked for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he still does. He's actually in town right now, but he's out in like Minnesota somewhere.
Yes,
but,
that's right, Minnesota.
but yeah. But listen, Eric, thank you again for coming on the show. We
Appreciate it.
appreciate
Thank you.
it, man. We're gonna turn these cameras off and the mics off and pour ourselves some Harlem Standard.
Fuck
Let's
yeah.
do it.
So,
Thank you, everybody.
with that being said, Eric,
As we like to say,
as it's on my
cheers,
T-shirt.
chin chin, and salute, my friend.
All right.